Hey guys, how are you? It's been a minute since I've been live here because I've just been going through a lot of stuff. Anyway, so my name is Yamil. If you've never seen me before, I have owned divorceinflorida.online.com. And so I help people get divorced without having to go to court in most cases if they qualify. And I also have a marketing agency, Boost Business Solutions. So, with that, I have my hands full. But in this video, I am going to, in this channel, this Divorce in Florida Online, I am actually going to start doing more family content because um, I know that I'm not the only one that's probably going through stuff with her children and her family, and I just thought that maybe I can help someone, and I can share what's working, what's not working, and kind of get an idea. Um, just I guess like a journal, like a video journal. Basically, you know, I have teenagers, and I'm a single mom. And so we've gone through a lot. And with that said, I'm going to talk about what's going on now. But before I do that, let me backtrack and explain a little bit of history, family history, because I think that may help give context of what's been going on. So my family, there's been a lot of mental health. We've had a couple of suicides in the family. Um, so it makes it, I think, difficult for me to make decisions. Like when I see very strict parents, there's some in family, in the other side of the family that haven't gone through all this emotional, mental health things. They're very able to be more strict, more um, iron fist type, and it's very difficult for me to do that because I have teenagers. They're 13, and one of them is went through got Baker Act, if you know what that means. Basically, she went to the hospital, mental institution, for a few like weeks at a time, and so in fifth grade, most of fifth grade, she spent in the hospital, and then different hospitals. That's a whole different journey. I think I may make a video about that because that was interesting. And thankfully, we're on the bend. She's not self harming, and she's not trying to unalive herself. I have to be careful with what I say here on this platform. And so I'm trying to use keywords, and not that I'm monetized or anything, but just to make sure that this video can get to more people because it may be helpful. So in uh, it all kind of stemmed from, so I was a single mom for a few years, when a couple of years when they were babies, and then I met someone, got married, and this person that I married, uh, his parenting style was the way he was raised was very different than my dynamics, and even though he's a lovely person and I adore him and will always have a lot of love for him, our parenting styles were completely opposite. And I was more into the connection. Let's figure, okay, what's going on? Why you're acting this way? And that sort of thing. Yes, we have our guidelines and our rules, but not be so, bam. And versus him, he was raised very strict, Eastern Asian family, very strict. And so I was more like a positive enforcer kind of thing. He was more in the negative side, looking for the negative stuff and paying attention, a lot of energy and focus to the negative stuff, and never acknowledge the positive things. And I just wanted a balance. It was not possible, and it is what it is. But after the separation and divorce 2 years ago, uh, one of my we were all at some stage of depression, and two of my children ended up in the hospital. One didn't, only because I couldn't send her to, like, it was just crazy. All my children would have been hospitalized at the same time. But he was no longer around, but still just kind of decompressing from that pressure that was building. Um, and through that time, I was working through my own childhood traumas. Um, so, I mean, now, if you know anything about tarot, the tower, I lived a tower moment, and but that helped me to understand how to, like, okay, let's figure out why I was so triggered. And, you know, and I worked through that. The child process went through the dark night of the soul. I can make a video. I will make a video about that later. But it's a process where you just basically unpacking all that pain and truly processing it, and it's just it's like I cannot even explain it. But it's almost like going through chemo kind of thing, and just getting rid of the cancer. So it's very painful. And so we've come a long way. We live in a very humble neighborhood now in Tampa versus the luxury area that I used to live in. We live now very more simple lives. The teenagers are 13 now, and they're now homeschooled. One of them is that got all that the diagnosis with the mental health and uh, ADHD, potentially bipolar. So there's a lot going on with that. And then the other twin is actually, she loves being homeschooled. She loves, she helps out a lot. Me and her have a good connection. But then I also have a 19-year-old that also lives with me, and she works. But the one thing that I really want to work on more is having a better connection. And so I was doing yoga last night, and a video came from this from I'm going to actually link the video there. This She's Lisa. I can't remember her last name right now, but she was on the movies The Secret, and she's still an incredible speaker, an incredible that's an incredible career. And she talked about creating a safe space where where either her son or her now husband can talk about anything and basically feel not judgment. So I decided that tonight I'm actually going to have that. And she also mentioned having like questions that you can like. She mentioned having like a question jar, and then you all each pick one, and then you discuss what it says there. And so I created, and I'm going to have a link to this on the website. I found these, and I decided to cut them, and I'm gonna put them in this jar. And then tonight, I'm already I'm gonna send a group message to my girls, let them know. Let's sit down together. Usually we don't sit down together and eat dinner. That's something we used to do. So I'm really trying to bring back the connection, because I'm just feeling that we're not there's a disconnection there, and I'm ending saying no a lot to a couple of my children, and it was just not in the same page. And I want to read a couple of these, and as I'm folding them and putting them in here, but they're going to be random. So what's a skill or hobby you'd like to explore or develop in the future? So whoever picks this, right? I'm folding it. I'm gonna put in the jar. Would be discussing that, and then the next person will pick the next one. How can we create a more comfortable and positive atmosphere at home for everyone? So again, this is something to let them, let's talk about. Okay, do we feel comfortable? What can we do um, to make the house more, to be more welcome? Describe a time when you overcame a difficult situation of obstacle. And I'm curious to see if there's something that comes up that I'm not aware of. Like, I'm really, really trying to get to know them better. How can we better support each other's emotional well-being as a family? And this is something that I'm really, really looking forward to. see if we can go through that. Share a personal goal or affirmation that helps boost your self-worth. Um, so that's a very, like, all of these are very good. And like I said, I'm going to have a link to them. So if you want to do that, you can always put them on a Word document, copy them in a Word document, and then edit them, or just hand them, write them, put them in a sticky, fold them, and put them somewhere if you want to do this. Share a time when you felt genuinely loved and supported by someone in this family. That would be sweet to know. I'm sure um, this is good because it makes you think positively. What's one thing that made you smile today? Uh, that's cute. Okay. What's a self care activity that helps you when you're feeling down or stressed? Very good. Yeah. I'm so excited. I think there's 22 of these. So I'm very, very excited about that. What's something you're grateful for right now? That's good. Gratitude is so important. Actually, I'm also gonna link the so a friend of mine does a gratitude circle every day, John Halcyon, and he's basically my life coach. And it's free and anybody can join it, and it's absolutely really helps. It helped me so much the last year and a half since I started joining them. And sometimes you see me there because sometimes I need a booster and a reminder to be positive and grateful for what I have and how much how far I've come. What's a challenge you're facing when you like to discuss with us? Do you like to discuss with us? That's very good. Yeah, these are really nice. Can you describe a book, movie, or song that has had a significant impact on you? This is so cool. What goal you're working toward, no matter how small? Describe a place you love to visit or an adventure you like to go on. That's one of the things we're actually one of the things that I'm going to start doing. I found a church 2 blocks away that we can volunteer with. Wednesdays they have a food drive thing, and they need help. So I'm gonna get. That's one thing that I think a lot of teenagers need a little touch of reality, especially those teenagers like mine that everything has been provided for them, you know, compared to how I was raised in, very more poor. Um, it's not the same to be able to go to the market and buy whatever you want. I'm not on food stamps, that sort of thing, versus families that are really going through it. I think I'm trying to raise young adults that will help create a better world, if it makes any sense. How can we collectively create a sense of safety and trust within our family? I'm really This is the most important thing to me, I think. um, Share something you appreciate about each family member present. What's something you're proud of accomplishing recently? Share a role model or mentor that inspires you and why. And I'm sorry about my accent. I'm Puerto Rican. I lived in Puerto Rico most of my life. So. Well, no, lived in Miami most of my life, but my first language is Spanish. What's one thing you've learned about yourself recently? And finally, share a favorite memory from your childhood. So that's it. That's the last one. Like I said, I'm going to have a link to them so that if you want to implement something like this, oh no, there's another one. How can we celebrate our individuality and uniqueness as a family? Love it. So yep. So these will be in the webpage. I created these today. I was inspired by Lisa's talk and by her interview. So just gonna shake them, and then they can go in and pick one, and get started and doing that. I We'll see how it goes. I'm definitely going to come back here and let you guys know. I really do hope that it helps us connect better and and have those tough conversations. But also, one of the most important things is, like Lisa said, is to make sure that they know that there's no judgment. Anything that comes out, Nothing's going to be held against them, and there's no judgment, and it would stay with us, and we're not going to be sharing other people's laundry to somebody else. All right, well, thank you so much for watching, and um, I hope to see you here around. Like I said, come back. I want to share how it goes and then see what I do next with them. All right. I love you. And let me know if you have teenagers, what are their ages, and if you think this can work or not. Thank you. Bye.